Like, you don't have any snake bites, do you?
Not yet. Not yet. I'm going to go give it another shot in about a month. So, chance I get it there. But I did check, and they had enough doses of anti-venom at the hospital there in Okeene to get a guy covered. So, in good shape.
Is there something about it when it's warmer, there are more snakes out? Or
Sure. The day we were there weren't really that many snakes out. But in the end of April, there should be quite a few. The two guys I was with that do this all the time said that in the area we were at should be 25 or 30, fairly common to see within the first couple of hours, so pretty excited about that. Anybody need a belt or anything?
What are your thoughts on him? Did you get the hair now, the singlet recently, then that? And fans seem to love it.
I don't know. I figured a dark silver and black Corvette will be next.
I don't know. Pat had a Harley.
Yeah, I can't. Motorcycles scare me. I can't do motorcycles. I do enjoy looking at them, and I know some of the strongest Americans we have in this country are guys that ride Harleys, and I love that. But they scare me. No, I don't know. I guess I'm just having a good time enjoying life.
What do you players think of all of it?
You know what's funny is, you know how you get to a point where I don't think they even pay attention to it anymore. They used to talk about my hair months ago. It's not a topic anymore. Only a couple of guys brought up the snake, and I think that's because they lived in an area where they had been involved with rattlesnakes. And as far as with the wrestling singlet, what I mentioned to them was that I would take a before and after picture of them now and when they're 50 and see what they look like in wrestling singlet. And if they could look anywhere near as good as I did, then I would give them whatever they wanted to bet me that they could. So that settled that real quick, because I knew I'd take a lot easier.
A few years ago, the players had the beach wrestling where they were down with OU together on spring break. Is it kind of nice, unless you can tell us somebody topped you, that your rattlesnake picture probably topped anything your players could offer coming off spring break?
Well, they went to Cabo, so it depends on what your choice is of pictures. It's rattlesnake or a beach.
Yes.
So you were worried about what I was going to say, weren't you?
Yeah, a little bit.
I know Gavin was over there.
I just stay quiet.
Probably needs to change his pins on that. You got but anyway, they went to Cabo this year. You know what's funny? I was asking all the fellas when we got back, where'd you go? Where'd you go? All the veteran guys, they went somewhere. The young guys went home. And that's kind of the way it is. And the next year they'll be with the other guys. So for me in my position, I'm just thankful they all made it back safe and I didn't get any phone calls during the week.
Mike, what's the key to rattlesnake hunting? How do you avoid getting bit?
I went over this yesterday. Robert's going to have to painfully, and Mark hear the story again, and Kyle heard it. But the two guys I was with, Todd and Wild Bill, those guys are experienced, and they gave us a crash course in about a 15-minute period on the 3 defense mechanisms of a rattlesnake. And one is camouflage and hide. That's what they would prefer. 2 is to run away. And then 3, if they feel like they're in danger, then they rattle, and then that means they're in a predicament where they'll strike you. Now, they can sense your body weight and your size with their eyes. They have heat sensors. And the older they get, they can determine how big you are. And if you're a small rodent, then they'll strike you because they know that you can benefit them, they can eat you. But if you're big and you're a human, they would prefer to not strike you because you can't do anything for them. So once I learned that, and then I was told to look in a 3 to 4 foot circumference around your body before you step, and then look again before you step. That was the majority of the crash course. Now, Wild Bill, once we got started, he didn't look anywhere. He just walked, and didn't bother him at all. So obviously he's not worried about getting bit. But I will say this, it was a great cultural experience, and the people I was with, very intelligent, and understand what they do, and it was a great experience.
So no close calls or anything?
Not really. We did walk over some. Again, my kids and I were walking and looking, and Wild Bill was behind us, and he said you just walked over one. I went back and looked, and there was a little one, curled up and staying hidden camouflage. We just walked right by it. So I guess you would say that was a close call. But the issue you have, you guys are getting a great history lesson here on rattlesnakes. The issue you have with them is when they're little, they only have one rattle, so you can't really hear them. And they're not very smart yet because their brain hasn't developed, so they have more of a tendency to bite you if you're bigger because they don't know who you are. But the good news is their venom's not very powerful because they're not very old. So that's about all I got.
You gonna do it again?
Sure, I'm doing it a month from now. I'm going to go back out and see if we can get a few big ones.
Mike, good transition back to football quick if you guys are
History, National Geographic's over.
You had mentioned...
I may be on the animal planet someday.
Mike, just kind of wrap on some rattlesnake talk here. I know it was sort of your son's...
You went right back to it?
Yeah, I did. I know it was your son's idea to do all this.
Right.
In this social media age, you talk about it a lot. It seems like your boys are sort of in touch with nature, like hunting and fishing.
Right.
Makes you proud as a dad, right?
Well, that's my life. I get in trouble here because I bypass on things to go be with my kids. And so that's the way it is. It's no disrespect. Don't mean to be insubordinate. But I'm going to be with my children. It is what it is. When they grow up and they're gone, then that's it. I don't get those days back. So in this last hunt, they were all fired up about it. I go to be with them. And then I ended up being more fired up about it than they did. I thought it was cool. And they had a great time, but I was the first to ask when could we go back. You do something like people talk about skydiving. I have no desire to skydive. A lot of people say, well, you walk up next to a 5-foot western diamondback rattlesnake and you're not scared, but you're scared to jump out of a plane. Yeah, I am. And motorcycles scare me. But that's something that I really liked. And if we learn enough and get good at it, then John Smith, our wrestling coach, his farm is right by mine. It's a mile further west of mine, and he's got some pretty good rocks over there. And I figure I can teach him. And that'll give John and I something to do. And when we retire, we can just walk around in our boots and rattlesnake hunt and make like videos for YouTube. Or Animal Planet. There's probably some value in it. And I can just kind of go out there and rattlesnake hunt and fish a little bit. And he had just renovated a barn and kind of made it a man cave. We could live there a while. Yeah, pretty good deal.